welcome back to the Journey to the FarLands. Alright. Well, looks like I got some stuff I could get rid of here. So let's get out of here. Out onto the ice. And yeah, okay. Nothing but Pigsy up there. Alright, and there's the west. So let's head on. And, well, let me take a moment here. Let's see. I only need one stack of cobble. I only need one stack of dirt. That helps. I've got my iron. I've got the wool. I don't want the sand. Yeah, I guess we're good there. I should get some more wood at some point. Hopefully soonish. Anyway, moving on. Heading onwards to the FarLands. Journeying westward in Minecraft Beta 1.7.3. Heading to the FarLands. A crazy terrain generation thing that happens when you get really, really, really long distances from spawn. I believe the effect starts at about 12,500,000 blocks. And it gets really wild. And let's see. The size of the world today, as of this morning, which is the, let me look, 415th Minecraft day since leaving spawn. The size of the world is currently 4,984.01 megabytes. Getting up there. About, actually getting close to, passing the 5 gigabyte mark. How about that? That's pretty impressive. That's a pretty good sized Minecraft world, no matter what you're doing with it. Yeah. Hello. Oh boy. Alright, can I get through here? Yes, I can. Alright. Alright. And I'm not digging that down. It's woo. Yeah, it had a multiple 1 or 2 block drop there. And opened up onto a cave, which I have no interest in exploring. And, oh yeah, get rid of that. Get rid of that. Alright. And as we proceed here, heading to the FarLands, talking about all manner of things, answering questions, and raising money for Child's Play charity, which has been progressing. The progress now stands at, let's see, 6262 raised with the ancient chip-in widget that is used in before, and another 673.50 raised with the Child's Play widget, for a total of 736.12, which is 11.6% of the goal. Not bad. Getting on there, getting some progress. You know, 11%, that means finally past the 10% barrier. That's cool. That's very good. Alright, very good. Anyway, let's see here. Well, things with me and things cardiac are doing good. Me and this life vest thing that I'm using, wearing, what have you, is I'm starting to get onto some kind of a reasonable term with it. It's not having its little false alarm hissy fits quite so often. I don't know if there's any kind of machine learning involved in that or what, but I'm getting along with it a little bit better. It is having its little derpy false alarm things a lot less often. And, well, like for example, the day before yesterday, I went through an entire day without that thing buzzing at me or threatening to deliver a treatment for the entire day. And yesterday, it only happened once. So I will count that as forward progress. Whether it's the machine learning anything or me just simply adapting to it, I don't know. But doing better regardless. No matter how you slice it, I'm doing better with that. That's better. Okay, good. Well, let's see. Yeah, the thing still itches like crazy. The vest part of it that I have to wear. It fits very snugly, which it kind of has to, because it's got these 4 contacts that have to have a firm contact with the skin in order to be able to read the heart rate and all that. And then there's 3 other somewhat larger contacts that through which it will deliver its quote treatment unquote. And yeah, there are times when it gets really, really irritating, and I am all too happy to remove it for a while when, like for example, when it comes time for the daily changing of the battery. And stuff like that. Anyway, I'm rattling on about that and so on. I should probably not rattle on it quite so much because people get tired of hearing about it, I know. Even though it is a significant thing going on. I did hear, and by the way, just shut up, cow. For the concern that many have expressed over how much activity I'm doing and so on and so forth. First up, I want to say I do very much appreciate that concern. I really do. It's cool, and I understand it. But well, let me put it this way. I had an interesting phone call yesterday. And this was some sort of therapy thing or other that my situation made me qualified for, in which, and this is something that they do, they work with heart patients and so on. And the objective is getting exercise and getting into better shape and learning how to do what kind of exercises and how to know how much is okay to do and so forth. I would have jumped at it. This was gonna be like a 3 classes a week for some actually unspecified period of time, and it was made clear to me that I would have been covered for it and all that. There's only one little hitch in the get along, and the only reason I didn't just completely jump at it, and that is that attending this would mean taking a 50-mile drive to Batesville from Cherokee Village 3 times a week. And that is basically up there in the realm of, no, that's not going to happen. It just isn't. I don't make long-distance drives any more than I absolutely have to. And that, oh, yeah, it's good. Place a bed, boat. Yeah, I don't do that. Otherwise, I would have jumped at this because it sounds like a pretty good idea. Oh, jeez. Okay. Because, you know, I am doing the weight loss thing on top of everything else, and, you know, that would be really great because exercise, physical activity, very important part of weight loss. And before this whole mess went down a couple of weeks, or a week and a half ago, or whatever it was, I was actually gearing up to get started with some stuff. And this kind of put a hold on all of that. I'm still going to gear up to do some kind of physical thing because it's necessary. But on the other hand, even though I could not partake of this just simply because it's too far to drive on a regular basis, I did get a little bit of input, and, well, basically it turns out that my idea to work with an exercise bike, for example, is a good one. Because it can be, you know, with exercise bikes, the way they work is that you can set the tension and or difficulty. You know, you can control how much effort is required to do it, which enables you to start out, like in my case, to start out with a very light touch and keeping it easy and light, and so as to just sit on the bike and pedal, you know, to just do that for a little while every day, and then over time gradually increase how long of a duration one is doing, and then once you start reaching a really good duration, you might gradually, slowly increase the difficulty or tension or whatever it is that controls how much effort is required to do it. And all of this coordinated with just how well off one is. And this requires, this would require a little bit of occasional consult with medical people to make sure that you're actually not doing anything you shouldn't be. But, yeah, I consider that a validation of my exercise bike plan. Because when I mentioned that that's what I wanted to do, the person I was talking to became very enthusiastic about how it was, in fact, actually a good idea. And so I am going to go forward with finding some way to provide myself with an exercise bike so that I can commence to using said exercise bike and begin reaping the benefits of it. Because this will, you know, it will exercise the heart as much as it will the rest of the body. And, you know, the heart needs to be exercised. It needs to be, you know, you need to get the heart rate up and do stuff and get the heart back into better condition. Because just because the heart isn't in top-notch A1 condition now doesn't mean that it can't become in top-notch A1 condition at some later point. And pause. Oh, well, that's better. Meanwhile, I mentioned the weight loss thing, and that reminded me that I had not yet mentioned my weight loss numbers, because I am now once again back on track. Yesterday's calories consumed was 1,422. The carbohydrates consumed yesterday was 76.55. And this morning's weigh-in for the 30th of November was 287.8. So that's good. That's great. Things are stabilizing and moving once again in the correct direction. And I sincerely hope for a lot more of that to come. I'm so glad to be away from the hospital and the hospital food they had been feeding me, because their heart-healthy diet is made of carbohydrates, and that might be okay for most people, but when you're a diabetic, large amounts of carbohydrates are, well, they're poison. My blood sugar is finally starting to get back into line. This morning it read, I believe it was about 176, which is still kind of high, but it beats the daylights out of the 215 or so it was the day before. So it's working. Is cutting the carbohydrates. Always a good idea, because that makes for just that much less that the body is processing into sugar, blood sugar, glucose, and that's that much less of that stuff that the body has to deal with. And that's good, because I think it makes weight loss a lot easier to do and deal with. Because when you've got blood sugar issues, there is the whole thing where insulin is telling the body to take this sugar stuff and store it as fat because there's too much in the blood, you know, and the last thing I want is to have anything being stored as fat. I'm carrying quite enough of that right now, thank you. Oh boy. Well, let's see. Okay, in other news, on this same day, I fully expect YouTube to have finally quit messing around with the new Hermitcraft episode upload, which should be ready to be published sometime around the time this video is published. So there's that. And in that Hermitcraft episode, I took a pretty good sized step outside of the old comfort zone and tried building something in an architectural style I have never attempted before. And I'm thinking that it may very well actually have come out okay-ish. final determination to be made when people besides me see the result. So we'll find out. And if you're curious, episode 82, I believe it is, titled "Trying Something Modern." We'll see what people think of what I built in that, because it is not something I've ever tried before. I've wanted to try such a thing, but you know, you get hesitant to try something that is so vastly different from the way that you normally do things. And, oh, well, I guess it's overnight time. Okay. Yeah. Alright, we'll just get up here, we'll do this, and then we'll do this other thing that I should have done before digging my way up to there, but it's easy to remedy. Okay. Torch. Bed. Overnight. Proceeding to instant daylight. Alrighty. Okay. Collect this. And proceed to use one of these brand new boats. Alright. Screenshot. Yeah. I think that might be a good thumbnail, just for the heck of it. And yes, I have been confirming frequently that I am in fact heading the right direction. I don't want to do that wrong way thing again. At least not for a very long time. That was embarrassing. And yeah, I can't help but to wonder how long will I have to successfully make forward progress to make up for the backwards progress that I made in that one episode. I don't know. That would probably require spending a lot of time figuring out rates of travel and so on. And would probably require F3 information that is only available on rare occasions. And so on, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. Well, that looks cool. And interestingly square. Anyway, another brief pause. All right, there we go. Moving on, getting on to business here. Still feeling just a teensy bit rambly and whatnot, but that's okay. Let's see what else. Oh, yes, that's right. Someone, and I say that because they are anonymous, asked a question. They said, what kind of phone do you have? I love the question because I like my answer. What kind of phone do I have? I honestly don't know what brand it is. It's nothing I've ever heard of. But the kind, if you refer to what kind of phone, as in what type, it is absolutely not your modern flat 3-inch by, what is it, 6-inch smartphone thing. It is absolutely not one of those. In fact, as opposed to being a smartphone, I consider it to be a stupid phone. Because the only thing it's good for is making phone calls. Technically, it does have the ability to connect to the web, but why anyone would even attempt something like that when the screen on the phone is less than 1.5 inches diagonal. I mean, that's really, really, really tiny. And when you combine that with being somewhat nearsighted, no, I'm not even going to try. Abso-freaking-lutely not. Besides, I have enough quote-unquote fun sometimes just trying to manage to dial phone numbers correctly, because the keypad buttons are so tiny that it's actually not very difficult for me to press 2 of them at once. And that's led to a wrong number or 6. Because I think I'm dialing something right, and in enough of a hurry that it doesn't occur to me to look at the dialed number on the screen, which that actually shows up big enough to read, but you know, you're in a hurry, you wouldn't want to just get the call over with, and you don't look at that, you just dial and go, and then you figure out that you should have taken the time, whether you were in a hurry or not, because you dialed a really strange phone number because you managed to hit 2 or more keys at the same time, and that completely changes the number. That's a lot of fun. Not really, but yeah. Oh boy. Mostly the main thing, well, yeah, it's a stupid phone. It's good for making phone calls, and that's about it. I have never owned, or for that matter, even used, ever, one of those fancy schmancy newfangled smartphone thingies. Never. Maybe someday, when the technology of such is as old as the 3G technology that my current phone is now, you know. When it gets to the point where you can pick one up at Walmart for next to nothing, there's the tree. And I will cut my way down that way. Alright. Get rid of you. And move along. As a matter of fact, it's getting towards the Minecraft afternoon. I am going to have to start looking around with the eye towards overnight between episode hidey hole kind of thing. And oh, another thing I mentioned or hinted at recently was I'm leaning very much towards another shot at the return to streaming now that I'm feeling better, because I figure, what the heck, you know, I could do this, I enjoy doing it, and it is one of those activities that is performed from the seated position and requires very little, if any, actual physical stress or strain. That, why not? And recently, as in the last 2 or 3 days, I've been watching a series that Lennardt did a few months back, where he was playing a Skyblock map, a modded Skyblock, called Sky Exchange. And yes, I know, I have a modded Skyblock series that I'm doing, but this is... The more I watch the series that he did, the more I actually kind of want to play that map through. And rather than do that as a video series, I think it would be best done as a live stream thing. And I'm thinking about getting started with that sometime surprisingly soon. I haven't nailed any dates to the wall or anything just yet, but sometime soonish, I think. I'm thinking about getting started with that because it looks like fun, and I think that would be a cool thing. And modded Minecraft Skyblocks, whether they're new or not, are a fairly popular-ish sort of thing on Twitch these days. And yeah, that would be cool. Perhaps even make some progress towards doing a lot more of the Twitch streamage kind of stuff, and I really kind of hope that I'm kind of thinking maybe I should have stopped somewhere back there. I didn't realize it was quite so much into night, but it looks like there is a good likely spot right here. In fact, I declare it likely enough to just get out of the boat and do it. Because it's getting late in the Minecraft day, and there are critters out there I do not wish to make the acquaintance of. So let's get in here. And, oh, don't try to shoot it, just put a torch down. Alright. Now, plug a hole or two that I didn't mean to make. And then plug that one. Another torch, and another plug, and another torch. Alright. But bed. And time to make up some things for next time. That's enough boats. And some more beds. And yeah, alright, let's get this thing collected. Well, here we are, the end of another 3 days of Minecraft. And yeah, looks like we got a good thing going here. feels good to get back at this and get back to doing stuff. And yeah, I will be saying something soon, I think, in other vlogs and whatnot about what my decision on streaming is. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be, let's do this. And anyway, thanks for watching. Take it easy. I am out of here.